Look, your table looks so pretty.
Oh.
I heard your phone tweet.
Tweet.
Hi, y'all. How are you tonight? Oh, good. James joined, and Wendy, and and Megan. Hi, Megan King. Hi, Abby Rich. Good to see you. Hey, Sassy Cassie. We got a lot of awesome people joining us already, so that's good. Cecily.
Yes.
She's from Brittany's Church in San Diego, and
you've got quite the following, girl.
I do. Hope. And Amanda Aldeffer is joining. She joined the other day. I just didn't see her name pop up right away. Yeah, I saw her later when I watched the replay.
Well, you just have lots of comments now. Okay?
Yes, that's right. She could add to anything that we're saying. Exactly. So, anyway, good to see y'all. Good evening from California, from Wendy.
Yes.
And Amanda gave you a couple kisses there.
Yes.
So. Yeah.
Amanda used to work for me, and she knows my material
backwards and forwards.
Yes, and she's practicing it all and teaching it.
Oh, good, Brittany, you're giving the red hearts.
Awesome.
Good, nice. I see lots of red hearts. Keep going. She says she loves your hair. My mom got her hair done today.
Good.
Lucky her. Brooke just joined us, Sade.
Wonderful.
So that's good.
Wonderful.
Amanda said last time, I didn't hear it, but that she's teaching your material to their singles at their church.
Oh, it's so important for singles to learn this material. A lot of times when you talk about the home, people think you need to be married to talk about this topic.
No, everybody has a home.
We all live in a home.
Hi from Brazil.
Hey, Brazil. I love you.
And Brookie's waving.
I just came from dinner with Ana Paula Valadon and her sister Mariana and Felipe. They are visiting here, and I just got here from a restaurant.
So James is sending blue hearts. Hi, babe. Thanks for the hearts. But anyway, we are talking about the home tonight, and we're getting material from the Home Experience, my mom's book, and also to let y'all know that if you did not see the replay earlier today, watch it. It was really fun. I was periscoping.
It was a great show.
I was periscoping from my house with my granddaughter,
and I was
Eliana.
sitting with foils in my hair in the hair salon, and my hairdresser. He enjoyed watching it, so I wasn't on.
Anyway, y'all can watch the replay. But anyway, I'm Trina Titus Lozano, and this is my mother, Devi Titus, author and speaker and Christian minister. And so we are just, I'm a counselor and also a Christian minister. So we are here talking about the home today. And what do you think we should tell people about the home?
Well, I'll tell you, of course, if you go back and you'll see we're restoring the dignity and sanctity of the home. But what I would really like to talk about today is creating an environment of honor in the home. A lot of times you might use the word respect, but honor has a little different connotation. Let me just kind of give you a picture. Honor always has ceremony involved in it. Respect is an action. But if somebody's going to be honored, there's an aspect of ceremony. So the military, for example, if they're honoring someone with a Purple Heart Award, there's a ceremony created. If you honor your pastor for National Pastors Day, there is a ceremony. So in the home, we need to create an environment of honor. And that means planning, preparing, sort of a celebrative environment is really important. But there are 3 areas of honor that, and this is not in the home.
I haven't heard you say this, so
no,
I don't recall reading this in this book.
No, so you can ask me questions.
I do know what you're talking about, though, so that's a great point.
The thing is Revelation doesn't have an end of the road.
It keeps going. We keep learning and learning and learning.
Yeah,
exactly.
And I teach women every week of the whole year in many different venues, and so Revelation keeps growing. In fact, I have several new books I would like to write. But tonight, I think I just want to talk about honor in 3 areas. And these could be 3 shows. But you want to create an environment to honor authority. You want to create an environment to honor property and to honor people. And this establishes character to put it in those 3 categories. That's absolutely amazing. So what would an environment of honoring authority, and maybe this should be 3 programs. But
just tell us today, give us the overview today. I'll break it down in the next 2 programs. How about that?
You could do that. That's right. I'll be your coach on the side.
Yeah, because your schedule's kind of busy, but I'll try to make up for. I'll pick up from where you left off. How about that?
Or fill in my gap.
I'll fill in the gap.
You can say
all that too, right? All of those things.
She's been doing that with me all of my life.
All my life.
That's right. All of her life.
I've been around all of your life.
5. No, you haven't. So honoring authority, in this environment of honoring authority, number one, you don't allow children to talk back. So you create first-time obedience, just an environment. And if your children are going to respect you as authority, they must see you giving honor and respect to authority. So within your home, what are you laughing at?
James says I'm doing color commentary.
What is that?
I don't know, I'm adding color.
No, you've got to talk. Come on.
I'm adding the color commentary here.
So just an environment of honor starts first with you, if you're married, toward your husband in the home. And this is a huge aspect of creating an environment of love and peace. So,
but remember, we're talking to men too, and men are also honoring their wives.
And that's why I need you here.
That's right. It goes both ways.
Keep that perspective going.
Yeah.
So you honor people who are in positions of authority, and when you do that, you pass that attribute down. But it starts in the home. Honoring property, for example, one of the things that takes peace away is noise. So in my home, when I was growing up, my mother never allowed us to run in the house. And she said, the house is to be respected. Why? Because we honor the property. We take care of what we own, and we don't abuse it. And so you can't jump on beds, you can't jump on the sofa, because you're teaching them to respect and honor their property, to take care of what they have. You don't leave toys outside for it to rain on and for them to rust. Why? Because you're learning to honor property. Stop and think about graffiti. Graffiti wouldn't exist if we had taught to honor property.
In the home.
So in the home, beginning in the home, and then you're not going to destroy property outside of the home.
Yeah.
So it's a really big part of developing character. And
hey, thank you, Cecily, for sharing. By the way, y'all can all share and invite people by swiping up and down, and then hitting the share button at the bottom on your iPhone and side to side if you're on an Android. But thank you all for sharing. That is great, because you can invite people to follow right now while we're live. So that's good.
So when you're teaching your kids, it's a really big issue for them to learn to respect property. So to respect your furniture, the things that you own. Why? Because it develops gratitude. They are grateful for what they have, therefore I don't abuse it. If you let them abuse property, they will abuse people.
It seems like they, let me just interrupt here for a minute.
You're the counselor. I'm
well,
the teacher.
I tend to see that people, that children, they have to be taught everything. Or they won't know instinctively that they're to read a book and turn the page but not tear it out. So they'll be ripping the pages out of a book. They'll be standing on books. They'll be throwing books. They'll be throwing trucks. They'll be it's like, no, the truck is to drive, the ball is to throw. You have to teach them how to use every little thing. Don't color on the walls in your house. If you do, you are disciplined and you have to clean it up.
Well, I think about it this way, that we think of it sometimes or excuse it as childish behavior. But the truth is, as a parent, every action for them becomes a habit, and they don't have a sense of right or wrong.
No, we have to teach that.
We must teach them and show them. So parents, these are not childish behaviors. These are destructive behaviors. And that will carry out, and it'll just get bigger.
And they don't outgrow it. They don't outgrow destructive behavior. They have to be taught of how to behave correctly.
So one mother traveled with me. She had never traveled with me before. She had read my books, but she heard me bring up this topic. And on our way home, we were in the airplane. And she began telling me that in their home, well, I asked her if they needed a sofa, and she said, yes, our sofa is covered with pillows because the cushions are so broken down. And then over the pillows is a spread, and that's what we sit on. And I had an opportunity to buy a used sofa, so I said, well, I'm going to buy you a sofa. And so she was just thrilled. Well, then she asked me about this honor that I had talked about. She said, well, the reason, I want to tell you the truth, the reason our sofa is like it is because there was a little hole in it. And I allowed my daughter to pick at the hole until the hole ripped. Then I allowed her to put her fingers in the rip and
tear it. And kids will do that. You'll see how your kids will pick, like if there's peeling paint, they'll pick at that until they literally mess up the furniture. I had guests at my house recently, and the kids were banging the toys on my coffee table. And so I was like, don't bang the toys on my coffee table. It's gonna dent my table and scratch my table.
Yeah.
And so they have to be taught to not do that. But yeah, so that's part of honor, stewardship, respect.
Yeah, and then she said, "Oh my goodness!" And you know what else? And then she said, "You know, one of the reasons we had to move from an apartment is because I allowed her to just scribble on all of the walls with a black marker." And then it was silent for a while, and she said, "You know what else? She actually destroyed her crib. I never realized that." And it's like a revelation. A light came on, and her child had become so unruly,
so destructive.
Yeah, and she was like 4 years old.
Yeah.
And so very destructive and not pleasant to be with for either mother or father. So small things.
Brooke says you don't childproof your house, you house-proof your kids.
Yes.
By teaching them to respect and honor.
Yes.
And the good thing about doing that, Brooke, for those of you who don't know, that's my daughter, Brooke, who's got 4 children of her own, piping in here. And you all, this is a conversation. Please join in, give your own tips and tricks as you want to join the conversation. But yeah, and I lost my train of thought. You can live with the nice things that they can respect, and then you can take them places. That's what I was going to say.
Absolutely.
You can take them places, and you're not worried about their behavior. I'm playing this for my husband. He thinks it's just 2-year-olds being destructive. Well, then you'll have a 3-year-old being destructive, and then a 4-year-old being destructive, and a 5-year-old being destructive, and then a 14 and a 16-year-old and an 18-year-old.
Yes.
And recently, and it's the same thing. So, and you'll see, I have adults that stay in our home all the time and live with us, and I literally have to give them guidelines of how to respect our property. And if they haven't been trained, they don't know.
No, and
here's one of the and they're adults.
Yes.
Here's some of the guidelines. Remove the bedspread and the throw pillows off the bed and sleep under the covers.
Yes.
Because I have guests that are adults that literally just sleep on top of the bed and even like lay their head on the decorative throw pillows.
The comforter that costs $100.
Yes.
And a cheap bed in a bag costs $100.
And they don't even know. No, you have to take those things off, and you need to get between the sheets and like under the covers.
But why did they not know?
Because they weren't taught. They weren't trained.
So teach your children from a young age to fold that spread back.
To respect property.
To respect property.
Yeah, to respect property.
This is a really big issue in an environment of peace in a home, but it's training character. Remember, your home is the place God created to form the human heart. And so the heart will either get hardened, and that will hinder it and hurt, or it will be made safe, sensitive, and secure. So proper training gives security to the soul. And one of the reasons to know good etiquette is so you can forget about it and have confidence to go anywhere. But if you don't know it, you'll always feel ill at ease.
Good job, Wendy, teaching your kids to be good stewards about their belongings and your belongings. Another thing, y'all, you don't want to allow your kids to destroy their toys, by throwing them, by breaking them, any of those things. With the single children, this was not an issue, but with the twins, it has rocked their world. Jessica, seriously, I know. I mean, it's a big job supervising and training all these behaviors. So y'all know that we're here to support you. Okay. It is a big job.
You mentioned it casually earlier today, but I think this is really worth it. Moms, when your children are young, it can be so frantic at times for you. And the messes that you clean, you're constantly cleaning up the same messes. But if you reduce the amount of things that are available to the children at a time and change them, your mess can't be so big because you didn't give them so many things.
It'll help you monitor, it will help you manage.
For example, they only play with one toy at a time, so only give them 6 to choose from. You only have 6 toys to pick up. Take everything out, put it in a box, change the 6.
As opposed to literally hundreds of toys that might be in your house.
Or dozens.
You can also introduce boundaries, limit to 5 toys rather than 50, right? Brooke was just sort of saying what we had said.
Yeah, and then you can use a timer So if you want to, you can create games, but what you're doing is you're creating systems, you're creating structure. What does that create? Systems and structure creates peace.
It eliminates the chaos
Peace
for the
for you,
moms, and
but
the
peace for
kids,
them.
and the chaos in the atmosphere of the home, the chaos for
Because
the kids too.
children carry anxiety.
Brooke says that I also put my baby in the playpen or pack and play so that
Yes.
he's not into everything. And that
Yes.
was common back when I was a baby.
Absolutely.
You guys use playpens, but then what happens, people is like, no, we want to give our kids free reign. And then it's just this constant, I mean, exploration is good, but when it is constant, y'all, it is way too much. It's like they pull everything out of everywhere, and it's just way too much chaos that they create.
Well,
So
they're not
yeah,
being monitored or trained.
they're not being monitored or trained.
So I use the word containment. So you kind of contain them. It can be in a playpen, and then it can be in half a room or the room that you're in. You move them from that room.
Brooke says they're not really
depending on the
capable to
age.
handle the freedom.
No, they're not.
Liam was digging through the cabinets, which is
Yes.
fun, and it was just the pots and pans, and he was exploring. But like Brooke said, he can't handle the freedom, and it's like she was fixing dinner. She was right there with him. Then he pulled a Pyrex dish out, which she didn't realize was in there,
Right.
and that big thick glass shattered and cut him, and she was able to swoop him up and get him
Yes.
out of there. But a playpen is safe. It makes their playtime much more safe than letting them just
Yes.
dig through the cabinets.
Let's-
And then all your dishes are dirty because they're all on the floor.
Let's talk about running in the house, for example. So then if you take them to a grocery store, they're going to run in the grocery store. If you take them to to church, they're going to run in the church. And they need to learn that there are places to run and there are places to walk.
Right.
And I'm going to suggest to you to use positive, instructive types of commands rather than negative. Don't say, rather than saying don't run, say walk. This is the place for you to walk. Before you enter in an environment, prep your children.
Yeah.
But if they have been given free reign at home, they don't know the difference of inside and outside behavior.
Yeah.
So take them to the park. Now you can run. This is a running space. This is a walking space. When you do that, you are creating peace and order for yourself. It makes parenting so much easier.
It does. I talked about this in my parenting series as well.
Yeah.
Hey, Wendy, by the way, good job teaching your kids. I can tell that you're really engaged and you're putting these principles to effect and you're doing awesome. Inside and outside
affect the
voices,
atmosphere of the
same
home.
thing. Makes it easier. They have their place with the toys, and there's the grown-up space. Oh, Wendy, that's a great idea.
Yes.
So there's a grown-up space. That's a good way to say
Yes.
it. So that the grown-up space, their toys aren't in there. That's great. That's a great tip, Wendy. Thank you for that input. That's great.
Something else I want to mention is jumping on beds. This is a big, big issue because parents think it's like a trampoline. It's just fun for them. Go ahead and let them do it. One of the most expensive purchases that you make in your home is a good quality mattress. It's important for health, and you probably don't think about this, but one of the reasons that you don't jump on it is it destroys it. So it breaks it down. So you're allowing a preschooler
To destroy your property.
in a play space to destroy your property that bed could have lasted for 10 or 12 years. That's about the lifetime of a good quality mattress. And even in their own beds are made to sleep. So if the sleeping space becomes also the trampoline, then they don't know the difference. And you
It
are
makes
the
bedtime harder.
Yes, and so you are the one who creates these boundaries, and that makes them feel safe.
So you have a place to watch a movie. You have a place to play with toys. You have a place to sleep. You have a place to eat. You have all this order. I tell some moms, pretend that you're running a preschool, because when they go to preschool, when they go to childcare at the church, and now people are sending their kids to school younger and younger and younger and younger and younger. In fact, even stay-at-home moms are sending their kids to school really young.
I don't think you could call it school. but
Well, it's
it
not.
makes it sound
It's
more
daycare,
acceptable.
right? It's like daycare, but literally but the kid is going into an environment of structure.
Yes.
There's a table that they sit at to eat.
They're not
Brooke
allowed
said,
to
if you
get up
show
and
me you
run
have
around.
energy, then it's time to exercise. Go outside and run
Yes.
laps.
Yes.
That's great. Exactly. But when they go into that environment, so I tell moms lots of times, just pretend that you are sort of running a little preschool here. You know, right now it's recess time and we go outside and run those laps and ride bikes or whatever. And now we sit here and then we nap here and this is where we do this. And so that just creates that honor for things and respect, and it keeps the peace so it's not chaotic.
So within our home environment, I'll bring it back to the home. So we're not just talking about parenting, but it just so shows you that you have to govern peace. And as soon as you feel that something is causing you to lose its peace, one of the things that I'm creating is
Napkins,
table
tableware.
linens. And this napkin says in 4 languages, in Portuguese, English, Spanish, and French. You can see it here. And then at the bottom it says talk about it. So this is a cloth napkin that says love at home, peace at home. Talk about it. And when you're at the table, talk about what makes you feel unloved.
And what makes you feel loved.
And what makes you feel loved.
Yeah.
And what causes you to feel like there's no peace.
And what gives you peace.
What takes away the peace and what makes you feel peaceful. You'll be very surprised at the answers that you will get. And so as the keeper of the home, we are the ones who need to make the adjustments.
Okay, so love at home, peace at home, talk about it, strategize, y'all.
Yes.
You can strategize. Okay, for my Periscopers who may not be married and have children, I want them to understand exactly what we're talking about. But y'all figure out what is robbing the peace in your home.
Yes.
Where is the chaos? Is it because it's dusty? Is it because it needs to be vacuumed? Is it because your clothes aren't hung up or your laundry isn't done? You know, what's robbing the peace in your home? Is it because your refrigerator has moldy food in it or because your trash is
That's right.
overflowing? But, you know, because really how you value yourself, you're gonna see, if there's a mess in your home, if your home is chaos, it means that you are not even valuing yourself.
And chaos
you're not valuing and protecting your own environment, even if you're the only one there.
And chaos is very different than used. I walked into my house. Before I left this morning, I went to the office. I had several appointments. I had a very busy day, and I got here 10 minutes before this program. But I got up early this morning, and I put on some music, and I began reading my Bible and spending my yada time. I don't do that every single day, but this time I had time. Larry was gone, and I just had my yada time with the Lord. And I started crying, so I got the tissue. And I left it. It was all scattered on my ottoman. My ottoman wasn't pushed up against my chair. The blanket was there. I just got up and left. And so it's okay for a home to be used, but not chaotic.
Yeah. Hey, Wendy, you know what? So when you're thinking, she said, I like to think. And when she's trying to think and her kids interrupt her, it makes her frustrated. She said, I need to think when they're asleep, set a time. Yeah, or you know what? You could just, ring a bell or do something to make, set an alarm and tell the kids, when you hear that sound, it means it's thinking time, and just have everybody stop and think at the same time. They can have their thoughts, you can have your thoughts.
I know.
You could give it a try.
I know.
Maybe you have to wait.
Trina,
Sade says she loves yada time.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We'll have to do a show on that sometime. But, Trina, when you kids were small, so there's 6 years difference in your age, but you were a talker. You were a busy person.
I was a talker?
Kind of
was busy?
Kind of a demanding
Kind of
little girl.
demanding?
And then the little one. And then I'm a controller, so I want everything really in order. And sometimes my nerves would just be like this. And I had a schedule, and Larry had people coming, and we had dinner to be ready, and entertaining and hospitality, and the messy diaper and the throw up and all of that right when everybody's coming. So I would just tell her, she's the older sister, I need to go to the bathroom. I'm just going to go to the bathroom. So Aaron is right here. I would just go into the bathroom for 5 minutes. everybody is allowed to go to the bathroom. And whether you need to go or not.
I had 4
you need
kids
to
that
for
never
different
worked. They were
reasons.
banging on the door. You guys, all my kids know good luck with that. My mom had 2 kids, one at a time, so I guess she had time to go to the bathroom. I didn't. Sounds like my love and me, right? But anyway, I was a talker, and you know what? Sometimes you have to just manage that. And I remember my mom saying, Trina, you're talking too much. Lower the tone of your voice. You're getting too loud. Give yourself a timeout, Brooke said. There's a good point. Give yourself a timeout. Breathe.
Yeah, she's using different terminology than I used, but
Breathe.
that's okay.
breathe. Also, y'all, Tiffany, I read all of your comments that you need to make adjustments. You guys, we are constantly making adjustments.
Totally.
Constantly making adjustments as keepers of the home to monitor
Even in
that
this
piece.
season. Even in
Always.
this season of my
Always
life.
making adjustments. I'm making adjustments right now.
You know what takes away my peace the most and gives me
Me
the most.
periscoping at your house at 9 o'clock at night.
No, it gives me true internal anxiety, real anxiety. Is my closet, my clothing. I have, and
My closet looks perfect.
I pack and I unpack every week. I pack and I unpack. Well, do you know what packing and unpacking is? If you don't take time to really hang it in the right place, to hang it properly, you've got all this jewelry stuff all crammed into a jewelry case, and then you have to put it all back. Otherwise, you can't find anything. And sometimes I don't get it put back right.
The kids stop following me. Now I'm working on keeping the dog from following me too. Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck with that. Advice for the 12-year-old who sees no value in taking care of her belongings. Take them away. And you know what? I wouldn't even say anything like a discipline thing. Just like if you see something on the floor, put it away, put it in a bag, put it in a box. And so pretty soon she looks around and everything is missing. So yeah, as soon as you see something or as soon as you see that she's not taking care of something, you eliminate it without even saying a word. And pretty soon she'll be going, where is that? Say, oh, yeah, I just noticed that you weren't really grateful for it. So I just took it away, you know, and then maybe she can earn it back a long time from now, but she needs to miss it for a while because when you don't take care of things and when we're not grateful for them, then we don't get to keep them.
That's exactly right.
So yeah, don't even get mad at her. Don't even say anything. Just eliminate it, okay?
That's great advice, Rita.
That works.
I don't think I would have thought of that one.
Yeah, or electronics, just the power cord is suddenly missing.
There you go.
Sorry, no way to charge it.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, these are all just tips and tricks to keep the peace and love in y'all's home.
Remember, honor authority and honor property, and then another whole
Jen
issue
Strickland's
is honoring
watching.
people. Hi, Jen.
She said, talk about what to do when we as moms lose our peace. Okay, tip one, breathe because your brain needs oxygen. Your rational side of your brain needs oxygen. So do that deep through your nose and out through your mouth. Just take that breathing treatment.
Yes.
Brooke said you have to go silent and take time.
Yes.
Truly go silent instead of talking more. Go silent, breathe, distract yourself. When I was young, I was driving my mom crazy. She would start working really hard. She'd be like, scrub the dishes, something like that. You know, seriously, redirect yourself and give yourself that time out, but breathe, count to 10. And if you really need to, just say, I will revisit this in an hour.
Yeah.
You know, and then tell them, I'll be back in an hour. We will revisit this. But this conversation is not over. I need a major oxygen tonight when no one liked my dinner. I spent an hour making, oh girl, you know what? Tomorrow night, this is a great idea. You just enjoy that dinner, and if they're complaining and they don't enjoy it, don't say a word. Don't say a word. You just enjoy it, and then tomorrow, guess what? You'll have this delicious dinner, and they'll all be having Cheerios while you're having a delicious dinner.
Well, you know what? Sometimes though, I make dinners, and I know it's not good. So I'll be quiet.
Spent an hour making it. She said it was really good.
Well, I'll be quiet and I won't say anything because maybe they'll like it, but I don't like it. And so if somebody says something, I agree with them right away. And I said, well, we'll do it better next time, and I won't use these recipes. So if it really isn't the greatest, admit it up front.
She said it was too fancy for teens. My mom tends to cook a little fancy for me too sometimes. She's a fancy cook, and I'm a real plain eater. But yeah, I mean, not being defensive. Defensiveness always puts a wall, so that's great advice that she gave you. If they don't like it, just say, hey. When I talk to Trey to do something, he gets in trouble. He wants to hold me. Aw, no, I think that's actually sweet. That's right, Jen. Don't lose your cool. Just be like, well, I tried, So don't lose your cool. Don't get defensive. Just enjoy your meal because you made it and you like it, so enjoy it, girl.
But I think you can make a conversation out of it too, where it's not a negative thing. It can either become an argument, a negative thing, a complaining thing, or you can say, well, tell me the kinds of things that you don't like about it. What is it about it that isn't your preference that'll help me learn? And so it switches the atmosphere. It's not going to change the food, but it switches the atmosphere.
Kim said she agreed with that. That's a good point because the atmosphere is more important than even your meal.
And I'm the keeper of the atmosphere. I'm not the keeper of the food. I'm the creator of the food, the maker.
Creator of the food. Some days it's better than others. I like this analogy whenever we're making comparisons or there's a temptation to complain. You could always answer this. Say, you know what? Some meals are better than others.
There you go. Yeah.
You'll like some things better than others,
But isn't that the way life is?
That's the way life is, of learning how to cope when you don't really like things as much. And not getting defensive if everybody else doesn't like it.
We've been 30 minutes on this.
We're talking way too long.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all, thanks for sticking with us. The 14 of you that stuck with us. You're amazing. Anyway, I will be back tomorrow at noon and 9, and y'all can check out replays as well. And thanks for all my replay watchers. They're watching right now. Thank y'all for the hearts, and I'm so glad to be able to Periscope with y'all twice a day.
Vocês também, Brasil.
Next time, Jen's going to breathe, swallow, talk it out, girl. You can do this. Hey, thanks, y'all, for the conversation tonight about the home, and God bless you. We'll see you tomorrow.